Hi guys, it's time for another episode in my Countdown of the Year series, and we are nearing the top. I'm so excited. I feel like a lot of you guys already know that this is going to be in my top 2. I think a lot of you guys probably think that this is going to be my number 1. It has a lot of green shadows in it. It's also kind of neutral. Does that give you any hints? It's got a little bit of blue. It's hella expensive. This is the Natasha Denona Metropolis palette. I've done so many looks with this and I find myself traveling with this. I find myself reaching for this when I'm not filming. I just really enjoy the formula of this palette. This is what the palette looks like if you haven't already seen this. Like I said, I've done so many videos with this palette. I will have those linked up in the corner if you want to go check them out, but I don't know. It's hard for me to like recommend something that costs $129 and it's just eyeshadows, but I thoroughly enjoy this palette and I think that a lot of people would really like this. I will say, the one thing that I find with this palette is that it kind of needs like a specific type of brush and stuff to be able to properly use the cream to mattes, because they are a little bit tricky to be able to pick up and work with if you don't have the right tools. So I will kind of like show you how to work with these, obviously, because we are going to be doing a look with this. So I'm just going to start off by priming my eyes with my Natasha Denona eyeshadow base, which is very fitting since we are using her palette. And this is actually how I ended up buying this eyeshadow primer, because I was so lucky to be able to go to, where did I go? It was Sephora, and she was having like a free masterclass that my friend and I ended up signing up to, and she was talking about like her eyeshadow base, and I didn't understand at first what she meant when she said eyeshadow base, because I just thought that she meant the eyeshadow primer that she was using, and then someone in the audience were like, "What are you using?" And she's like,
"My eyeshadow base."
And I was like, because this is just called eyeshadow base, which is why I keep saying base instead of primer, if you were wondering for some reason. But I really do like this primer, and I'm so happy I bought it, and it does work really well with her shadows, which I mean, it should, because that's kind of why she made it. So I'm excited to do another look with this. I think for today's look I want to kind of stay in like the green family, but knowing myself, I mean, I say that now, and then at the end, I'm sure I'm gonna end up having like orange and blue on my eyes too, but I do want this to be like a Christmas look because, you know, there are a lot of greens in this palette and it would just be a really good time to do something green, so I think that is what we're going to do. I'm literally so annoyed because like one of my buns is higher up than the other one, depending on like the angle that I look in the viewfinder, and I keep finding myself being like... But let's go ahead and do a look with this. So I think what I'm gonna start off doing, like I don't really have a plan with this, like that's my issue here. I don't know, maybe I'll just go ahead and start with green because I want to do something green today. Maybe I'll do like a green halo eye. I don't know if I've done that in a while. So I'm gonna first start off by taking this shadow right here. Now I don't have the names in here because it came with like a plastic slip that was attached to the palette, so I kind of just ripped that out because I don't really care to keep that because it was just in the way, and that thing had all the names on it. So we're not going to be saying any names today. I'm just going to be pointing at the shadows here. And so what I was saying with the brushes earlier is that I find that the cream to mattes really tend to need something that's very like dense but also fluffy at the same time to be able to pick up the shadows. And this is what I've been using. I mean, this is my holy grail brush right now anyway. This is the Referral number 13 brush. I just love this brush so much. It's like just my favorite for everything. And the thing I like about this is that because it is a natural hair brush, it just picks up the shadow very nicely. And because it's kind of small and dense at the same time, it's really easy to like press the shadow onto your eye. I find that if I use like a much fluffier brush, I have a hard time like really getting enough pigment on the brush. And I also use quite a bit of pressure to really like press the shadow onto my eye. But as you can see, I mean, that just went on so smoothly. And these are just so easy to work with because they are a cream to powder. They're never going to like get patchy because you can just keep building on them if you do happen to have that problem. So I'm just gonna go ahead and build up my crease here with this color. And I might even pull in some of my multichrome flakes for this look as well because I am so obsessed, you guys. I don't know if my videos swatching those shadows have gone up yet because I have filmed it. I just don't know when exactly I'm going to put it in because I haven't figured out like my full schedule yet. I've just kind of written down like everything that I need to film, but not when they are going up unless it's a collab. So if that video is up of me swatching those, I will have that linked up in the corner. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to use a dark green in the inner and outer corner of my eye here, and then I'm gonna pop a gold in the middle of my lid and then top that gold with some of those flakes. I think that could be really pretty. And I'm by no means saying that you need this brush like to be able to make this palette work, obviously, but just like anything that's kind of on the smaller, denser side is going to be easier to just work with these shadows, from my experience at least. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna dip into this dark green here. This is also one of those creamed matte shadows, so I'm just going to stick to my same brush here. And I'm going to use this to deepen up the inner and outer portion of my lid here, like I said. So I'm just going to take my time with this and really make sure that everything is looking nice and blended everywhere. Like, if there was one thing I could change about this palette, would be to switch out one of the neutrals with a black because I just feel like she would make a beautiful cream to matte black, and it would just be so easy to work with. Because I wish that there was like a green that was maybe a little bit darker than this. That could definitely just be me though, because I always like things to be like really dark to deepen things up with. But I mean, these are just blending and performing like an absolute dream. I just love this so much. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to grab this gold shade right here, and I'm going to plop that in the middle of my lid. I'm not sure what I want to do on my lower lash line yet. I'm thinking I might even pull in like a little bit of blue because can't help myself. So maybe I'll do that, but let me just like finish off with the lid first, and then we can see how that is looking. So I'm just going to focus that like right in the middle of my eyeball here. And I'm going to start feathering this out to the sides and just blend it into that green. And then before I do anything else, I'm gonna go back into that crease shade that I used first and just kind of bring that back a little bit here to make sure that all the edges are looking blended, just as like a last step. And I kind of do think I want to pull in some blue. Are you gonna be mad at me if I do that? Because I don't know if I can help myself. So I'm gonna go in with this one, and I'm going to really smoke that out underneath my eye and make this quite dramatic. And honestly, the one thing I love the most about this palette is just like how quick I can get looks out of this, because I've been filming now for 20 minutes or so, and I really didn't like start talking until I've been sitting here for maybe 6 minutes. So far this has only taken me about 15 minutes, which is very, very quick for doing a halo eye, especially for me. Like, usually halo eyes take a little while for me to be happy with, but these shadows just perform like an absolute dream. And they just do exactly what I want them to do, and that is why I like this palette so much, even though it's not like my favorite color story that I have in my collection. Obviously, you guys know I don't really ever use neutrals, but just because of how easy I find this palette to be to work with, it's one of the reasons why I love it so much, because I know I'm never going to mess up using this. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to find my my flakes and see what I can find that I want to use with this look. So let's go ahead and try these. These are called Astrid, and it's kind of like a green, how would I even explain this? It's got like a green pink kind of shift to it. I don't know, I just think maybe it could be fun. And I also haven't used this on my eyes before, I don't think. So let's go ahead and put a little bit of this on. So I'm first gonna start off by taking some of my Too Faced glitter glue and just kind of pop that in the middle of my lid where I want these flakes to be. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put the flakes on top. So I am going to use 2 different brushes for this. I'm first going to take some glitter glue on one brush here, and then I'm going to use a different brush to apply the flakes with. So I'm really just packing the glue like all over my eyelid where I want to place down the flakes. And I want to make sure that I get enough glue on my eye so that this actually does stick. I tried doing a halo eye like this without doing a shadow like in the middle of my lid, and I found that these aren't like opaque, if you know what I mean. So you need like some kind of a base underneath. So I'm just gonna go ahead and wow, pack those right in the middle of my lid here, and then kind of try to fade it out. That's the problem with these, is that it's a little bit hard to like control the amount that you put on, to get it to look like even and stuff, but oh my god, that is so beautiful. I mean, it definitely did like change the whole vibe of this look, because I did kind of want it to be like gold in the middle, but you know what, I'm just not mad at this at all because these are just so beautiful. Oh, I just cannot just swim in these, I swear to god. So what I'm gonna do next is I need some kind of an inner corner highlight. Let me just make sure that these are even first. Maybe I'll do a little bit more, just like right up here. Okay, so I think I'm happy with this. I do need an inner corner highlight though, so I'm thinking I want something, maybe I'll do something fun. Maybe I'll do something like a duochrome blue or something. I'm gonna take a look because I don't think I want to use anything in this palette, so I'll see if I can find something else. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take one of my Kaleidos highlighters. This one is in the color Skywalker, which is a beautiful like white blue duochrome. This thing is so stunning. Like maybe this is a lot with this look, but I don't even care because, I mean, it's the Christmas season, it's the holiday season, you know, you can be a little bit extra. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put a little bit of this in my inner corner. I don't want too much of this so that it takes over the look, but I do want enough that you can see it. So I didn't spray this at all. I'm just gonna tap a little bit on here, and I think that looks really, really nice. And then I'm going to remove the fallout that I have on my face from those flakes because I have quite a lot. But that's one thing that's really nice about these, is that they really don't stick to your face at all, so it's super easy to remove it. And if you want these to like really stick, you can kind of press down to make sure that they are stuck to your eyes. And also these are so easy to remove. I mean, you're not going to get them into your eyes. They're not like glitters, like they don't fall off as if like you're removing a glitter. It's hard to explain. It's almost like they melt a little bit into your skin and they just kind of become like a foil in a way. Like, I don't know, it's so hard to explain, but these are just, I'm so in love. That's all I wanted to say. So I'm going to finish off. I'm going to put on some eyeliner, something in my waterline. I'll probably do blue. I'm thinking I want to do maybe something kind of dark blue. Maybe I'll use this. This is Accuse from Urban Decay. I think I'm going to pop this in my waterline, do some liner mascara, choose a lipstick. Probably not going to be a red like I said in the beginning, but I'll find some kind of a nude. I know it's boring, but like, I'll be right back. So here is the look all done. I did a couple of tweaks. I didn't end up going with that Urban Decay liner. Instead, I used DTLA by Colourpop because I didn't want like a metallic liner with this look. And I just felt like this was a little bit better of a choice because it was like darker. And I don't know, I just felt like it went better. And also for my inner corner, I wanted to amp it up a little bit and just like lighten up what I had in there. So I used one of my Bitterless Beauty highlighters. This one is in the shade Lucid. So I put a little bit of that like on top of the Kaleidos one that I already have. And if you're wondering what highlighter I'm wearing, I'm actually wearing one from Bitterless Beauty. This one is in the color Electric. I mean, this thing is intense. I had to tone it down so much because at first I put it on and I sprayed my brush and I was like, crap, like that's a lot. But I feel like now that it's kind of been worn down a little bit, I can put on a little bit more here because it kind of faded a little bit when I went over with like so much powder. But holy crap, like these are so beautiful and like wet looking and metallic and just... oh, I just can't with these highlighters. They're so beautiful. Like, they're a lot. So you need to really like glittery, sparkly highlighters, which I'm not usually like the biggest fan of glittery highlighters, but I find that these are just so beautiful. I absolutely love them. And for lips, I ended up going with Nathan by Jeffree Star. This one had dried up so much that I had to put a gloss on top, so I used one of my Lucid lips from Kaleidos. This one is in the shade Fantasize. I thought that this would like match my eye look basically, you know, spot on. So that is what is on my lips. So I think this look turned out very cool and kind of not Christmassy, but just like different. Like, I don't think I've ever done a look like this before, and I really, really like it. So that's gonna be it for my number 2 palette of the year. Now, I will probably film with my number 1 palette before this video goes up, so if you do leave a guess, I will probably already have filmed with it, but I think a lot of you can guess what is going to be my number 1 palette of the year. I will say it is from an indie brand, if that is a hint at all, but it probably isn't because mostly what I use is indie brands, but I'm just really happy with this look. I'm really happy with this year so far with like all the beautiful palettes and things that have come out, and I've just had so much fun playing with everything, and I can't wait to play with my number 1 palette as well. So that's gonna be it for today's video. If you want to see some other Annette-mas videos that I've done in December, you can click on one of these, and if you're new to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.